Mark, thanks for taking the time to meet with me. What I wanted to do is actually do something a little bit different. Normally we come in, talk about the phone books, talk about the internet stuff, and kind of see you next year. We wanted to sit down, kind of really dive into the internet and see what's going on in the internet world, how it compares to your business, and see what your customers are kind of thinking about you.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it totally makes sense.
What I wanted to do is kind of go over marketing today, and then talk about how it's affecting your business. And then I want you to really think about the questions here on the screen. What are they looking for? How are they hunting for you? What's available to them in the marketplace outside of you? What are your competitors in the area? How easy is it to do business with you? And are you perceived as trustworthy or reputable compared to your competitors in the marketplace?
Okay.
But remember back in the day, advertising was so simple. There was really only 5 ways of advertising. There was radio, there was internet, there's billboards, there was TVs, there was direct mail, and the phone books, right? I mean, those were really the only ways that you could market yourself.
I know, we should just go back to that. It was way easier then.
I know, right? What happened was the computer came, and it changed everything. I mean, I love this slide over here. It's vintage social networking. Pinterest was just like your tack board. Your phone was Skype. Your Rolodex is LinkedIn now.
Yeah.
Internet has changed everything. It changes how the way we communicate, the way we shop. You can buy your groceries, buy and buy all your stuff off of Amazon or Peapod nowadays. I mean, everything is brought to your door. What they really said was, the internet, a year in the internet is like a dog year in real life. It changes that rapidly.
Okay.
I mean, think about it. There's all these different buzzwords out there, right? There's PPC, there's SEO, there's mobile, there's social media, there's digital branding. It's all way too confusing, right? There's too many buzzwords. Just think about how people advertise on the internet, right? There's so many ways. This is just a snapshot of how you can show up on the internet. One of the things that was interesting is we took a look at some pictures, and back in 2005 when Pope Benedict was announced as the new Pope, right? This is St. Peter's Square. I mean, everyone was standing up. They had one little guy with a cell phone on there. This is 2013. I mean, this is when Pope Francis. Everything is going mobile, right? It's amazing. Yeah. iPads are out there, mobile phones, snapping shots. One of the things that was cool for me is that this seems like the mobile is the new way of the internet. I mean, you have to be on top of that. Everything is changing with mobile. Think about how you watch TV now. I mean, you watch The Big Bang Theory or whatever show it is. You're on your laptop. Your wife's on her iPad looking at different blogs out there. You're multitasking. We're in a change of, doing everything fast and rapid. Microwave society, right? This is something I thought was cool of mobile advertising by itself. Some of the things I noticed was, mobile internet usage is supposed to surpass desktop usage this year. I mean, more people are going to be searching on their phones than they're searching on the computer.
That's crazy.
It's amazing that most people, when they get an email, it takes them about an hour or two to look at their email, right? When they get a text message, it takes 90 seconds to pick up their phone. I mean, targeted advertising, targeted marketing, mobile marketing really is the way of the future.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it says we're in a constant state of change.
Right. I mean, but when it really boils down to it, it's the old marketing principles that we've always had known with the new technology. When you combine them together, that's successful marketing.
Did you make that slide yourself?
I did.
Your handwriting?
My handwriting is pretty awesome, right? But what I did was I wanted to take a look at the competitive landscape in Vernon Hills, right? I typed in on Google.
For my business?
Yeah. I typed in divorce lawyers Vernon Hills, right? And this was what Google's Maps basically brought up. I did kind of a wide bird's eye view of the different divorce lawyers that Google recognizes in your area. Okay. I mean, look at how many there are, right? It's a lot.
Yeah, I know every one of them.
But then what I did was I said, okay, well, that's the macro. Let's look at the micro.
Okay.
This is kind of in about a 1 or 2 city area of the divorce lawyers Google's kind of recognizing for you. And then I wanted to show you how people are searching. So probably the same thing that you've seen with active buyers. It still holds true. We did update a little bit based off of search engines are popping up more than the phone books. We got to make sure our statistics are correct. Okay. And we want to position your business where people are looking, right?
Yeah, it makes sense.
So then I said, okay, let's look at your website. I wanted to show you some good things and some things of opportunity of your website. I actually love the fact that it looks very, very clean. The contact information is right there. There's some tweaks that I can see us working on together on and helping improve it. But really, what it boils down to is, I said, they have a great website, but how is Google going to find it? And there's really only three ways to show up, right? There's paid search, where we're actually giving Google and Yahoo and Bing money to make it to have you show up there.
Mm-hmm.
There's the local maps, where everyone wants to be on the local maps for divorce lawyers, Vernon Hills. There's only so many spots that you see on those little pins.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's optimization, which
Okay.
is the big buzzword now, right? Everyone's trying to go show up on the front page of Google. They just don't know how to do it.
Yeah, and that's something that I think we definitely are interested in. I mean, it's something that we're looking at for sure.
Right. So kind of breaking it down, here's what SEM is. It's like I said, we're paying Google and Yahoo money to make it so you show up there. We want you to rank high on search engines. When I type in divorce lawyers Vernon Hills, divorce lawyers Libertyville, divorce lawyers Mundelein, right now you show up in Vernon Hills, but you don't show up in Libertyville and Mundelein.
Yep.
So we basically go out to Google and Yahoo and we pay for the search engines to find you. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay, and then you have the optimization.
Yeah, I mean, I know what search engine marketing is. I mean, we've been doing it with a different firm for the last couple of years. I know we do a little of it with you.
Right. I think you said last time it was FindLaw, right? FindLaw is the big company.
Right, that's who we do most of it with, and I thought last year you set me up with something small.
Right.
I think it's part of, I don't know, it was a big bundle.
Yeah, that's part of your package this year. What I
Okay.
really wanted to do is we'll go into the numbers a little bit later. But I want to kind of show you a macro view of the internet today.
Okay.
And then you have the optimization, which is we're making it so your website populates.
Right, and we're interviewing a couple different people for SEO, and that's something that you're doing now?
Absolutely, we've been doing it for a while, but actually we partnered with a company that is ranked pretty well on the list of top websites, so top
Okay.
companies to show up on optimization.
Okay.
But really, when it boils down to the internet, it's to paid search and your optimization to have you to own your position on Google. There's a
Okay.
quote by someone that says, it's not necessarily the best website or the best content on the website that makes you show up on the search engines. It's the best optimized content.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's growing and it's changing, and there's your next slide. Social media changes a lot of it, right? I mean, we don't really do a ton of it, but I know that that's a big buzzword.
Right. What I wanted to do is I wanted to show you yours. I mean, the last time you updated it was probably like 5 months ago. When I looked on this, I mean, do you guys do much on
Yeah,
that?
I don't do it. I mean, my daughter set it up, but I don't have a clue.
Okay.
I don't know what goes on.
That's fair. That's fair. What I actually wanted to show you was, search engines like fresh new content, right?
Okay.
They want to make it so when I do a search on Google, they don't have websites that haven't been touched in 6 years. Does that make sense?
Sure.
I mean, why would a search engine show that, right? So what we want to do is we want to connect fresh new content. That's the power of social media. It's actually a big factor when it comes to optimizing your website. So whenever you hire a company to optimize your website, you want to also take a look at the social aspect of it.
Sure.
I wanted to show you another website, one of your competitors down the street, how they take advantage of it. Divorce in social media, you don't really see a lot of divorce lawyers typing in new content, right?
Okay.
There's not a lot to say about happy-go-lucky divorces. But the purpose of it is that you want to have people know what's the new information. Maybe there's some new laws. Maybe there's some big case that's changed everything. You can provide that information to people who know who you are and make it so you're top of mind. It's kind of a kind of mini branding. They said social media is like a little newsletter. Every time you send out a little post on there and you have people that like you, it's a newsletter. You're basically sending out to your customers.
Yeah.
I also want to show you your Google Plus page. It's pretty much the same thing. This is what's going to help us have you show up on the maps a little bit better. Google Plus is also heavily parted of the social media and optimization. So we want to make sure we handle both of those.
Yeah, I don't know what we do either.
But at the end of the day, also there's branding. How familiar are you with the branding stuff?
I mean, we don't really do any of it. I mean,
Okay.
we don't have a billboard. I haven't bought,
Okay.
anything like that.
I mean, basically, have you ever done a billboard in the past?
I mean, back in my youth, sure, but no,
All right.
not recently.
The cool thing about branding is that we can make it so you have the same type of feel like you used to do in traditional billboard advertising, but we can be very targeted. We can make it so once I do a search on Google for divorce lawyers Libertyville, they store that information on the computer, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then as they go to ESPN or HGTV or the Chicago Tribune or different areas, we actually follow them. It's kind of what they call legalized stalking, basically, right? We're basically making you front of mind when they're on the different websites, and it's branding recognition, but it's targeted to only people who know who did that search and in the geographic area that you want to be. What's actually kind of cool is that there's a little slide here that shows how targeted you can be. You ever played the game Words with Friends?
Of course.
I mean, it's a fun little scrap game that you play
Well,
with
a couple
friends,
years ago, but yeah.
right? Do you ever notice that you could you saw those little ads at the bottom?
Yeah, I mean, sure, they're sort of annoying little pestering things, right? But
Right.
yeah, sure.
We can be so targeted to say we want to show up on mobile apps, we want to show up on games, we want to show up on different websites. I mean, you can do a ton of different things with this targeted branding campaign.
Okay.
But at the end of the day, it really is about the experience of the customer, right?
Okay.
I mean, for restaurants, it's easy because you could do a royalty program, not royalty. You can do a punch card. We can say, frequent flyer, frequent customer card.
Yeah, frequent divorce, get divorced more than
Absolutely.
once.
Yeah,
Come see
buy
us
two,
for-
get one free, right?
Yeah, we don't have a ton of those
you don't have a
clients,
ton of-
but I feel like, every year we get closer to more of them.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, it's easy for that, but at the end of the day, reviews are huge, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I mean, of course. I mean, frankly, especially in our industry, people trust strangers. They don't necessarily go to their neighbor and say, "Hey, have you gotten divorced lately? Who'd you use?"
right. I mean,
certain parts of the Chicagoland, we have, there are certain towns that they do that, but yeah, sure. I mean, a lot of people want to know who they use and price, and all that stuff is important, and they trust strangers nowadays.
right. My feeling is you're either going to manage your reviews or your reviews are going to manage you. Does that make sense?
Sure.
I mean, we got to make sure that we are on the ball with what are people saying about you. If it's great, then we want to broadcast it a little bit more. We'll put it on Facebook. We'll put it on different things.
Yeah.
To kind of broadcast a message of positive. If it's on the negative side of things, well, we want to know what's out there. We want to know how people are talking about you, where they're finding about you. There's probably websites out on the internet you probably never heard of that might have a bad review about you.
Yeah.
We can find those things and we can try and help you correct those.
Okay.
And then, Mark Zuckerberg, the Facebook guy, says, people are the best referral, right? You know that. Word of mouth advertising is the best.
Sure.
It's the holy grail of advertising. You get one person in there, you get a couple positive referrals from that customer. That's how businesses work.
Sure.
That's the whole point of advertising.
Okay.
And then finally, like videos, for example. I don't know if you've seen with your current website, have they offered you any type of video service, or have you heard about any video service?
We do a little. We did a video with you guys, or at least it was a slideshow, I think.
Yeah.
But we've never hired a crew. We haven't really thought about it.
Okay.
Because we don't do TV commercials. We haven't done that in years. So
the cool thing about the videos is that, I don't know if you know this, but 69% of all traffic on the internet is done through videos like YouTube, for example. I mean, YouTube is the second largest website out there, Google and then YouTube.
okay.
You have a 50 times better chance of ranking and optimizing for a video on Google than you do for a website.
Wow.
Isn't that kind of crazy, right?
I would have never known that.
I mean, but at the end of the day, what's cool is that it kind of connects high tech and high touch. We can make a nice website. They go to that website. We can have them press play right off your website and introduce you to them before they even call you. So it kind of puts their mind at ease a little bit.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, that's kind of that's the beauty about it, is that we can be that targeted to not only divorce, but we can have a page that talks about bankruptcy and make a video that talks about how you do your bankruptcy. I mean, you do a lot of different things, so we can have, one of your lawyers specializes in personal injury.
Sure.
So we can have these different videos that talk about your services and how you work within the community.
Kind of like a welcome to my website.
Exactly. I mean, that's the point, is that we want to make sure that customer experience is key. That they that they like your website, they like the information that you have on there, they connect the dots of who you actually are, and then they can call you from it, right?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, though, it's all those confusing buzzwords, the PPCs, the SEOs, the mobile, the branding, all that, the confusing crap. All it boils down to is getting found, getting chosen, and getting talked about.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, sure.
All right, so, we talked a lot about this type of stuff. So I did want to go over a couple different things with you. Is, what has changed since last time we talked? How has the business been? Is it still heavy on divorce, small on bankruptcy? Has it been more personal injury? What's been the change? What have you really seen?
A lot of it, to be absolutely candid, we've changed nothing.
Okay.
I mean,
All right.
our again, being blunt, we would like to see a 25 to 30% increase. We added one extra attorney
Okay.
so that we can handle more cases. And candidly, one of our partners plans on retiring in about 3 to 4 years. So this new person that we brought in,
Okay.
we would like to actually fill him up with some new clients on his own that he can sustain.
Is he somebody that's been in the practice for a while, or
No,
been practicing for a while, or
No,
is he new?
no. He's so the
Recent grad out of law school.
it's the son of the client of the attorney that's going to retire.
Okay. Okay.
So we would like to see an increase in volume.
And is he going to
to
specialize in the
support it.
same thing?
Yeah, we're not changing any practices. I mean,
Okay.
the number one focus still is obviously divorce.
So he was.
I mean, we dabble in a couple different things, but divorce has got to be 80 to 90% of our.
So John was the bankruptcy guy. So he's just basically taking over the bankruptcy status quo for everything.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay. And then so divorce is big. Has it mainly been in Vernon Hills or Mundelein and all those different areas?
I mean, we've dabbled into the North Shore.
Okay.
Stereotypes tell you that there's more divorces there, and it's reality.
Yeah.
So we have gone a little southeast of there. We'd
Okay.
like to get into even the north part of the city,
Okay.
and we do northern Cook County. But I'd say 60% of our jobs still are in Lake County.
Okay. And within Lake County, though, is Vernon Hills kind of the area that you've really seen most of your practice being built from, or do you see yourself getting into, it's like the Antiochs, the Waukegans, the Gurneys that are a little bit north of you, where right now you don't show up on Google for? I mean, has that been more of a one-off referral, or is that something where you really want to kind of get more cases out of there?
I think we would want to focus more south. We'd focus more on the North Shore.
So more of the North
I mean,
Shore.
if we get stuff up there, like you were saying, sure, we'll take it. But
Okay.
I think we would be more interested in the stuff that's a little southeast. We'd
So-
like to get into. I mean, so again, the attorney's son that's comes in lives in Deerfield, so it would be nice to get some stuff that's closer to
So in your mind, if we could make it so if someone types in divorce, or in his case, because he's in Deerfield, maybe bankruptcy too, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
We want to make it so you guys populate.
Yeah, I mean, if we could actually drive business in the North Shore, we might even open up an office down there for him, and we could actually see clients in the North Shore, so we can have, again, even a little bit more appealing. So I know it's only 10 miles south of here, but still, I mean, it's a different demographic. We see a lot of money there, and we see a lot of potential in that market.
Sure. Okay. Well, and then I guess the other question I would have is, outside of Dex, I know you're doing your fine law stuff. How's it working for you? I mean, what else are you doing?
I mean, they show us a ton of reports with a lot of numbers that say it's doing well. Our practice has increased. I think last year we looked at about a 12% spike.
Okay.
So, I mean, we have seen that. The numbers that they show us from our search engine marketing with them would support that.
Okay.
But candidly, I don't, they show us that we have calls. I don't listen to them. I mean, I don't know specifically, we ask where they come from, and they say the internet or.
Yeah.
But I mean, again, I know we have internet presence with you. I know we have internet presence with a couple other companies. I mean, I haven't really. I know the practice is doing better, but I don't necessarily know exactly what's.
Wouldn't it be nice if you could see exactly what keywords are finding you on, how many calls you're getting, where they're coming from, things like that. That'd be kind of cool to see, right? A little bit more detailed.
I mean, I think
if you had time.
Yeah, or if the new attorney has time.
Yeah.
We could give him a little homework.
Yeah.
But yeah, sure.
He doesn't know any better. Make it part of his job.
Yeah, why not?
All right, cool. Well, I kind of wanted to show you a little bit about how the Dex stuff is working.
Okay.
Right now on DexKnows.com, which is shows up pretty well organically on search engines. When you type a search for divorce lawyers in Vernon Hills or Libertyville, we usually show up on the front page of those searches.
Okay.
When they click onto that, they show you on. I think you're the second person that they see on this search, which is pretty cool. When they pop up, there goes, huh?
Yeah, and the search third.
And that search third.
Okay.
Then you see your profile here.
So this is the digital thing that
This is the thing that we put together last year. This was a part of the bundled package that we put together.
Okay.
It has your profile on there. And then I also want to take a look at your phone book ads. I wanted to look at, see what I like about it.
I got to update that photo, don't
Yeah, it's been a couple years. What I actually do like about it is that you have all these in-column ads for DUI, for criminal, for personal injury, things like that. The main ads are for divorce.
Yeah, those are all still small parts of our business.
Right, but what I like about it is those ads. When you go to the DUI section, that drunk driving really pops.
Yeah,
right?
the-
If you
the
look at all the
red.
different ads in the book, like we did before, yours actually pops. It's not the biggest ad, but it actually pops the best. Does that make sense?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I know we went with those red boxes.
Yeah, I actually like those. One of the things I would probably do is probably put a map in the bottom corner so people know where to get you. Right. Sometimes Vernon Hills can be a little bit hard to navigate.
Yeah, it's kind of an eye chart when you look at those ads. A lot of information smashed into it.
Right. But what I did was I kind of evaluated the website. Not the website, the ad.
Okay.
I said this is kind of what I liked about it. This is what I would fine tune. Like I said, putting the map in there would probably be a good idea. Depending on where we really see people searching, whether it's bankruptcy or personal injury, we want to make sure that if we're going more online, we want to make sure that the online presence is really targeted to those different searches.
Okay.
Here with the phone book ads, I think we've done a pretty good job. We just need to do a little bit more fine tuning. At the end of the day, though, we want to kind of look at what you have and how we can kind of fill those gaps, make it so you're found in the North Shore, online on Google and Yahoo and Bing. Make sure your website's not only doing that paid side. So right now it's going to take time to have you show up there organically. So we make it so you're showing up immediately. That like we talked about, that B12 shot, the instant burst of energy for paid search.
Okay.
And then over time, that can pay for the optimization efforts later. But I'll come back with a couple different ideas, and I wanted to kind of see what your receptionist said about the statistics when we do that type of analysis, and then I'll have a package for you in the next couple of days.
Yeah, I do not think I realized you did so much.
Yeah, so
I mean, it's a really nice digital 101, and candidly, I mean, we'll talk about it, but the phone book clearly is not the future. You know that's not the future for us. You know that we want to be more involved in digital, and I didn't realize you were as well-rounded of a company. I really thought it was just whatever you bundled us. I thought it was just basic little stuff. So
yeah,
I'm curious what you think.
It used to be like the
you
little
can do to
internet
help.
could with a print company that sold internet, right?
Yeah.
I mean, now we actually have a full suite of stuff. We've partnered with enough people that we've actually made it so we're one of the top 17 companies in the entire nation that have a strategic partnership with Google. We make it so we partner with a vendor who does optimization, and they're ranked one of the top 2 companies in the entire nation of optimization.
Okay.
So I mean, we've actually done pretty well with that kind of stuff. Now we want to make sure that we can take that and have it work for you.
Well, I'll look forward to seeing what you have for us next week. You can set a meeting with our receptionist on the way out.
All right, cool. Thanks a
Cool.
lot, man.
Take it easy.
Yep.